I'm currently on the phone with Caleb. He's another musician that reached out about the interview session. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Hey, y'all. My name's Caleb Allen. I'm a musician, guitar player, singer out of Kansas City area.
Awesome. All right. So let's kind of look back into the past. Tell me a bit about how you first came in contact with music. What about it made you want to pick up an instrument?
Oh yeah, I vividly remember my first experience with music was in a church, going to church as a youngster, and I remember the first time I heard an amplified acoustic guitar. It was like a gospel song. I was just like mesmerized, and it's always been that way. Anytime I hear music, it's like a magnet. If I'm out somewhere, music it just sucks me in and makes me want to listen to it. But that was definitely where it started.
Okay, so an amplified acoustic guitar. Once you kind of heard that and connected to it, at what point did you decide that you were going to learn it and then make that your instrument?
Okay, so that was when I was young, and I'd always loved music, but I was always into playing sports. So the majority of my time went into that. So I was in college when I started learning. A buddy of mine played guitar, and I'd go over there, and we may or may not have been smoking some THC, but at any rate, well, we go over there and hang out. And he had an old Yamaha acoustic, and he'd pick it up, and it sounded good. I was like, you know what? So he gave me a chord chart. He gave me like some basic chords, and I ended up getting my first guitar was a $150 Squire starter guitar, and I wore that thing out, just learning those chords and learning, just the basics to get started.
Sure, awesome. So when you began learning the instrument, did you just use those charts, or did you do any sort of private lessons or anything?
No, I tried going to Guitar Center a time or two, but it just never really. I don't know. It never. I was just better off like working on my own. I would put a CD on, like an old blues CD, and like try to play along with that, and then I go back to my book, because this is really before like I could access everything on the internet. So I could have a chord chart of like Creedence Clearwater. I'd have their catalog in a chord chart, so I could go through and learn that. Or I had a book of like blues licks, so I would just once you get started on that, it kind of opens the door.
And then did you do music in school at all, like concert band or anything like that?
Oh man, none of that, not at all. I was, like I said, I played sports. That was like where my whole focus was. So yeah, I did not do any of that.
Having it entirely be a hobby outside of school, did you focus it on just yourself, like you wanted to be a solo singer-songwriter?
Well, once I started to learn, so I was out of high school. I was in college when I started to play, and at first, like I just started to play for fun, and then the more I started playing, I had another buddy that played, and we're like, you know what, we would get together and jam. Like, you know what, man, we could go play at a coffee shop. So we're like, we went to a coffee shop and played a couple times, and we had a gig like out on a buddy's deck when he was having a house party. That just really those first times of getting in front of people and playing, like really rough, really, like no drummer, just two guys that didn't really know what they were doing, up there, trying to just kind of do something.
Well, and so were you doing covers at that point or originals?
We were doing covers. We were doing all covers. We were doing like mid '90s covers. Like he was a big Pearl Jam guy, and I always liked stuff like John Mellencamp and Bruce Springsteen. So we were kind of doing that kind of stuff.
Okay, and what do you think helped you kind of transition past that into becoming a songwriter?
Okay, I ended up like we had our little we practiced. Well, I ended up having my two kids. I had two daughters, got married, and had a family. Well, I was busy raising a family, so I didn't have time to do like music. Like work was my life, not work. It was my life, but like that was my main focus, was like raising my daughters, going to work every day, getting good at my job, and providing. So I always had a guitar sitting around, and I'd pick it up periodically, but really nothing there was no progression being made. But then once my daughters got to the point where they were teenagers and didn't want anything to do with me, then I went down, I picked it up a little bit and started playing a little bit. And I had another buddy that I had met a few years prior, and he played, and I started playing a little bit more, and I just got back into it because I had time.
Okay, and once you got back into it, how did you kind of approach it at that point? Was it time to kind of sit down and write what you have always wanted to write, or did you have something else on the plate? Give me some information about that.
Well, I just wanted to really start to like break down and try to learn, try to be able to play correctly, like be able to play the correct rhythm, and I wanted to learn how to play scales, and so that's where everything stemmed from. And then once I started doing that, I played every day. Once that started, that was like August of 2021. I've played every day, at least 2 hours every day since then. So once that process started and I just started learning more, then I started, getting into periods where I'd start writing words and stuff down and coming up with melodies and trying to put songs together.
Okay, and was that just you, or was your buddy involved in that as well?
Well, he had stuff of his own that he had been playing he'd been playing, so he had like 30 years worth of stuff. So he had like a whole catalog of songs of his stuff that we would work on and learn. And then I would be writing and learning stuff on my own, basically.
Okay, and does that sort of bring you up to where you are now and what you're working on?
Yeah, so basically where I am now is like I had a band, we were together for about a year. We were doing covers and we were also doing original music. Well, that project we ended up going our separate ways about 3 months ago or so. But I've always continued to play, and so really for me, I'm just now I don't have a band, but now I'm still writing songs, still going to jams, open mics, still writing music, and just really trying to really learn the instrument, man. Just get to become a good player and be able to write songs and just because I
Sure,
like it.
definitely. So, what do you kind of hope to see that all get to? Do you want to start putting out albums and recording? Do you ever intend to put like a whole band together? What do you kind of envision?
Yeah, so I would definitely like to have a band that works together, either like a however big it needs to be, but definitely have a drum and maybe some keys and a couple guitars and bass, um, just to see where it could go. But I mean, that's hard though, because people have their own ideas, and it's hard to keep it all gelled together. So like for me right now, I'm just getting as good as I can on my instrument and playing as much as I can. I go to jams, open mics, all the time, just trying to continue to meet other people, meet other artists, meet people who are doing it. And I've met a ton of cool people, so it's been cool. But I'm just like envisioning like I wanna continue to play. I like to play in front of people. I host an open mic. I like doing that. Um, just wherever it leads. I go to a nursing home and play at a nursing home. I love doing that. I just wherever opportunity. I mean, I would love to be able to quit my day job, and do music full time, but that's not, probably not that realistic.
Well, I definitely hope that that works out for you and you're able to, reach that milestone.
Mhm.
But what are some of your favorite memories that you have that you want to share?
Oh, when so probably one of my best memories is we had a gig we were playing at a brewery, and they were having like an event there. So there was a bunch of people walking through. Well, we ended up playing an old gospel song, and we ended up getting everybody in the room involved in singing, and it was just that was a really cool experience that just kind of transcended what we were doing as a band, and everybody was a part of that, and that was cool. So that's definitely something I remember.
All right. Well, where can people find you and check out your stuff and listen to what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on a good way to see me on social media is on Facebook. I'm under Caleb Allen.
Okay, just Facebook.
Yeah, well, I'm on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel under Caleb Allen.
Okay, perfect. All right. I'll definitely make sure that stuff gets linked as well. All right. So I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So, what's a message that you have that you think other people should hear as well?
Well, I just think like in the climate today with all everything being so charged politically, like one thing that I've found that's helped me to find similarities with people is just music. Like we may not agree on politics by any means, but you know what? Music connects us and it gives us a way to get along, and we don't even have to talk about that other stuff. We could just you know be present and get along with each other and have a good time through the music. I just think that's pretty cool.